Hello everyone, I'm Xiaogang and we're going to do some testing together. Okay, so this face map blueprint is quite troublesome. You can follow me and connect it, but it should be fine if you don't. So we'll take a shortcut here, and at the same time I'll teach you some tips that you might not know, like how to handle copying or backing up assets between different projects. Okay, this is the example project for our plugin. And here, we mainly need to migrate this thing. Mainly migrate it. We have an asset operation. Here, it should be here. There is a migrate option. We can directly migrate it. And this depends on a few other VBP files. This is quite simple. We just put it under the content folder of our project. Okay, ignore this disappearing thing. It appears when you click on it. This is a mechanism. Okay, let's go back to our project. We have this UI now. Let's just move it to this place. This UI, because the assets you downloaded from the marketplace actually look like this. And generally, marketplace assets won't have external dependencies. You can just drag it directly because they are compatible with each other. Then here, we need to fix our remajor, because as long as you involve blueprint operation, add, delete, modify, and move, you will need to fix it. Then this place. Actually, our main UI is fine. The main UI is fine, and this log is also fine. You can click to take a look. These are actually very simple, just some UMG stuff. There's nothing much to say about these. Nothing much to say. But then these two things here will have issues. This place involves some key bindings and retains the system. So if you often work with C++ code, you will encounter this kind of problem. This is very normal because the modules are different. For this blueprint, you need to do some things that I call redirect. This is quite troublesome. Let's just ignore it for now. We'll just go directly here and kill it all at once. Let's first make sure it compiles successfully. Okay, at the very beginning, it needs to clear out and do some cleanup. This is all relatively simple. Okay, we'll ignore this. Then let's come back to our part. Let's delete all these extras because there might be errors here. Let's fix it first. I'll make sure it compiles and passes first. Then come here. This is to teach everyone how to handle these issues. You don't have to follow along with me. It's perfectly fine. You can just take our project code and run it. Take a look. Yes. This is to clean up this information. Okay, this part involves some buttons. Let's remove this button as well. Let's take a look. Okay. Now let's go back to our level blueprint. We don't need the code above anymore. We still need something related to the UI. Let's test it. Right here, begin play, then find our UI. Okay, that's it. Then let's bring out our mouse. Let's launch it now. Okay, this proves that all these buttons are working normally. They're all working normally. Now let's write the next part. We'll take a little time to guide everyone in building the panel. First of all, this is the server side. For the server side, we mainly need to bind these few slabs to our blueprint methods. We don't need to worry about this part. This is something we made through another UMG. Okay. So how should we do this? Actually, this is how it's done. Here, let's move it up a bit. This is mainly to clear it. It has two boxes. So, obviously here, we need to get our small steel, like the WSM server subsystem just now, server subsystem. Then we bind this event. We go to this. We bind this connection, success, this event. Okay. Then I'll just finish it all in one go. Then we bind it. This link is incorrect. The link error event. Okay, let's pull up the blueprint and take a look. Just ignore it. This part binds our sending and receiving of messages. This message is the most important. That is the event for processing messages. Next, let's bind another event. This close event. We mainly do this for logging. So how should we write this event? Actually, we can create an event. This looks better. Okay, for this event, we shouldn't create it this way. We can do it like this. We create an event. Then we create an event here. Okay, as for this event, it is essentially, we can create a function, a method to do it. Let's look at this method. It seems that when we attached it, it was attached. So here, this method is attached. We can use it directly like this. That's it. Here we also create one of these. Dispatcher. This is a connection error here. This part handles this information. Here, this method should exist. Then here it closes. This should be close. After we create such a method, this method already exists in Zangor's UMG. Let us explain how this method works. When it connects successfully, then we need to prepare two widgets. These two widgets must be logs. The log is relatively simple. A log is essentially an entry like this. That is, you can write something in it. It actually only has one txt. This one is relatively simple, and this one is more complex. This is because it requires, after our connection is successful, we can obtain these two IDs. Then it has two buttons that allow us to send messages or retrieve messages. That's the situation. Okay, so here we create this button here, and we have a container here. We need to store all these links because I will call it later. So I'll save it here, and it's a sliding slot. Just slide it in, and this is receiving information. Actually, when receiving information, we just need to log it. We don't care much about the rest of the pollute. But close. When it just closed, we need to find the thing we previously connected successfully. It is meaning. We find it. We remove it. That's it, right? And at the same time, after this, we log a message. Above is to iterate all our current connections. If the IDs are equal, then we remove it. There is a temporary variable here. It looks like it wasn't found. That's roughly the idea. These four methods have been explained to you. Let's go back to this event graph is here. So obviously, when we are absorbing, we also need to make it essentially unbound. So here we just unbind it. Then on our side, we need to map it accordingly. So the first one bound is this connection success, right? Okay, here it shouldn't be bound to everything. It should be bound to this connection success. Okay, here we need to pass in something like this. We'll just put it here. And here it is bound to this connection error. Yes, then it should be him. Okay. Then next is this sending and receiving information. This one, this should be unbound from. Let me check. Unbound from sending and receiving information should be it. Okay. Then we are in unbound from. Here, we should close it. Close, okay. Okay. Then next, we need to implement this button and process it. So, obviously, when we start this implementation, then we must open this widget. We directly find the subsystem. When we start up, we directly call start queries here. Okay, we keep the port the same. We should set it to 9483. Okay, when we shut down the server, we directly call the shutdown server here. This method will do. It should have a stop method. Stored web store get store. Okay. But the key thing inside the server is that we must clear and close all this information. Okay. Okay, at this very last part, what I mean is, when we click, we send a message data. That is sent to all data. We look at sending a message to all clients. Where is this message from? Actually, we wrote a storage function. This storage function is used to get what is written in this box. That is, it is a variable. And here we directly get its text. Just retrieve it. Okay, so let's go back here. So this is a variable here. Okay. Good. There is also an unlinked server here. Link, right. And this way it disconnects all links, right? So here, this should be unlinked. Off work connection. Okay, good. So actually our server-side panel is written like this. Then in the server-side panel, we also need to write the specific handling method for each link. So in this case, it's mainly these two methods. As for these two methods, they are relatively simple to handle. Obviously, we need to obtain our WSM server-side system. This is the server-side panel. Here, we directly send the message. The kick out the specified client. Okay, so you might ask, where does this ID come from? You will notice that this ID is the expo Zangsi on spawn. That is, when constructing this UMG, this ID will be passed in. So we can directly take it here. Here we are on the server side. We need to use the server's connection. If we send this message, we can actually get the part of our parent class. This part will contain a storage function for the txt we just wrote, such as storage function. Okay, then you will find that this thing is actually also an X point. When we constructed it back then, we passed it in. This makes it more convenient, so you don't have to go get the parent class. That would be troublesome. Then at this point, we unlink the local, unlink the specified client connection. Then for the specified server connection, this server ID, we specify it. Okay, our server side is now written. Next, let's write the client side. Actually, the client side is similar. Let's first write the main panel. Here, we perform initialization when constructing. Similarly, on the client side, we also need to bind several agents. As for these agents, they are actually the same idea as our widgets. First, we get our WASM system. Get the client. Note that it is the client here. Then the client also binds this event. We bind this. The first one should be connection successful. Right. The second one is this put. Then connect AIR. Then the third one is this message. Writing this thing is a bit exhausting. Okay, this message. The fourth one is close. Okay, next, let's create this event dispatch for the 4 samples. We should have 8 here because we copied it over. So it's still hidden under this pin. Then we directly go to this place. The link was successful. It's actually the same. It will construct a link for us. Then log something. When constructing the link, we must pass in the required attributes, such as the link ID or the interior of its container. Then we also have a book group here to record it. These are all common blueprint knowledge. Then in this place, we will create another corresponding world distribution. Okay, this side is empty. We'll just ignore it. This information is actually just logging. This is much simpler than creating. Then when it is removed, in this place, close. Close is to find our current. This constructed UMG. We just need to remove it from this parent class. And at the same time print a log. It's also quite simple. Then when I unbind, we just unbind it. That is, unbind this delegate. This is a very good habit. The first unbind is the connection success here. We are not going to unbind all. Not unbind, it's unbound. Okay, forget. It should be forget that this connection is successful. Okay, here, let's slow down a bit. We're almost done with this chapter. This is also the last section of this chapter, more or less. And we've already covered most of the content for everyone. What comes after are actually just some additional sections. Actually, okay, so here, this is the message. Okay, then we are here. Forget this, this should be closed. Here, we connect this pin over. Good, so we have completed this binding. The next, we trigger this event. So the event on the client side is relatively simple. It's just establishing connections and removing all connections. As for removing a specific connection, actually we have already written it into the section below here. Here, just close all. Okay, here we only need to link web, say a dot. Okay, here we add this address. This address should be 9083. When this is ready, we have a connection. Everyone can know what the current status of our link is. This is a reserved field. Then here we just need to make it unlink everything. Okay, so there is a method here as well. This method also retrieves the information in this current box. And after it is written, we come to our client side. We mainly need to complete the send and close methods. It is also relatively simple. We get this ws out code 40, then we send message to server. So how do we send it? Actually, there is a link here. When we construct this UMG, we pass it in. Many beginners often make some mistakes. They try to use its parent class, but they don't know how to get that parent class. So this is a common mistake. It's possible that if you write it yourself, you might miss the initialization of this thing. You think you have a variable here, but it actually doesn't know what a variable points to. Let's take a look. Should be content. Should be this. Points to what? Because here, you need to initialize. We initialize it through the constructor. Perform initialization. Okay. Because you can see, it specifically emphasizes here. Many friends might be not very familiar with Blueprint and will find this kind of problem occurs. It only creates a variable, but the assignment of this variable, he didn't do it. This is a very common mistake. Everyone's Blueprint teacher should have emphasized this kind of mistake to everyone. It leads to the null pointer issue. Okay, let's close this. Just close this. Then this clank action. Note that we are using clank here. If you have been learning up to now, and you still haven't understood the role of this clank action ID and server connection ID in this interaction process, then this thing might be problematic. You need to watch it a couple more times. Okay, good. Now let's test it. Good. We'll just test it locally. We start the server, then we link the server. We send a message. We'll just send this one. Hey, received. Let's send it to him again. Hey, received too. Right? Good. Then we. So how do we test multiple instances? Now, actually, you can just steal a blueprint. You don't need to package it either. Packaging is also very troublesome. We'll just test it like this. Okay, let's test it this way. Let's use this as the server. Then we link server over here. We're here. Over here, we have another one. Let's link it to the server. Hey, you'll see. Isn't it amazing? Right? Then we send all the information here. He also received this information. Then watch carefully. He also received this information. Then we close this. He also monitored it, and it was closed. He also persists for a moment. It was also closed. Okay, we have finished this chapter for everyone. Basically, our main content, the 30 chapters we wanted to cover for everyone, are mostly done. After that, there are some additional special explanations. Let's see if we have any time and opportunity to talk about other things for everyone. Okay, thank you everyone.